What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kraken Hunters. I'm Carolina Hitman, and I have another Court of the Dead / Sideshow Collectibles figure to bring to y'all today. And today we have the one of the statuettes that Sideshow Collectibles and Court of the Dead released. They're a lot smaller than the quarter scale figures. And today we have Xiall, the Osteomancers Vision. Now, one of the things I love about these smaller statues is that the main thing is the price point. It's a lot cheaper. They're only about 90 bucks with shipping, close to about 100, but they're only about 100 bucks, and they're a lot cheaper than the quarter scale figures. And surprisingly, they keep a lot of the detail that we see in the quarter scale figures as well. Like of course, I have all the Court of the Deads that have been released so far because I'm a big Court of the Dead fan, and it was surprising to see the level of detail throughout this entire statue. That it's probably, like I said, about maybe a third or fourth of the size, and still able to keep a lot of the detail you see here that we've seen in the quarter scale figures. And Xiall, if you've seen my top 10, she is I think maybe my third or fourth choice. I think it's been a while since I watched my own video. But she's actually one of my top Court of the Dead statues. And even if you're just seeing the statuette, you can see why. Like, this thing is amazing from top to bottom. There's a few, I think maybe one or two missteps here and there, but I think for the price point, this is probably my favorite one that's come out so far. So let's rotate this lady around so you can see some of the details throughout the entire statue. Like, one of the things I love is that this probably has the most detail out of the entire three statuettes that's come out so far. I'll be reviewing Gethsemane sometime in the future, but as you can see, man, there is an immense amount of details throughout this entire statue. One of my favorite things is a little cat right here, a little skeleton cat, because of course Xiall's part of the Bone faction, so it makes sense to have a cat with no skin. But you can see all the skulls right here. Just rotating her around, you can see all the detail in the base and the statue itself. This one actually had no paint flaws that I could say, because I looked over it and everything, because I had a paint flaw in not Gethsemane, Kair one. Kair, I say Kair, but I think someone corrected me and said it was Kier. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm gonna pronounce it Kair, sorry. But as you can see, all the different colors, man, they did an awesome job on the paint application for Xiall. I love how they still got the little blue eyes right here, the dead inside eyes, as I call them. And this weird spiritual type thing right here. I don't know, that was my only complaint is, I think the paint on this is just a teeny bit sloppy, just a little bit, but not enough. Like I said, with it only being 80 bucks, I'm not expecting the higher quality that we would normally see on the quarter scale figures. So I'm okay with a paint flaw here and there on these because they're only 100 bucks. So I understand that I'm not going to get the level of detail. Well, I think we get the level of detail, but I think the quality on here and there, because I think I only had one paint flaw on Kair, and it was on her leg. And this is not a paint flaw. This is just my personal opinion. I think you probably could have done just a little bit better. That's it. But man, I think the rest of the statue more than makes up for it. You know, you got all the skulls here, and you even got her little her scrolls, because of course in the Court of the Dead, I think she's the lawmaker in the underworld. But man, you see the scrolls right here, her crest, and they still did an awesome job with her crown, because you can see it still looks like it's hammered into her, or the bone has grown around her crown itself right here. And we still got the dangly things right here from the quarter scale figure. But I'm loving that cat. I'm sorry. I'm loving that cat. It's weird. It's unusual. So I love it. And so, like I said, man, the paint application on this thing is amazing. And even so, I'm gonna turn it a little to the side so you can see. That's gonna make it come out. Okay, that's close enough. But you can see the level of detail in her staff. Like, one day, man, I may do a video where I'll compare the statuettes to the quarter scale figures, so you can see kind of the comparison and the level of detail they were able to keep in the smaller statues. I'm a big fan of her base. Got the Court of the Dead. I think this is the Bone faction symbol right here. Of course, with her being bone faction, I expected. The level of detail in her feet, just the paint application on these things so far, with the exception of that one paint flaw that was on Kair, I think they've done an amazing job keeping the level of detail that they have in these smaller statues. Because I think Gethsemane may be the tall. No, I think trying to figure out. I think Xiall may be the tallest at right around 10 inches, 10 or 11 inches. So like I said, they do an amazing job shrinking it down. I love the way they look of her cloak. Like I said, it's just awesome. Let me see, let's give y'all some good look through. Like I'm actually hoping they continue this smaller line just to kind of give people an alternative version that can't afford between the $400 and $1,000 piece range. I'm hoping they do that. Let's continue this line. I'd love to see someone like, man, I'd love to see Melavestros in this smaller scale. And it just gives people another option who aren't able to kick out that much money on a regular basis for every statue that they release. It gives them this option that they can still have a smaller one and still have a conversation starter in their house. Let's see, scroll it around. And these reviews aren't going to be long because it's really not a ton to talk about. I'll try to go through them as quickly as I can. I don't want to make them too long. But I do love that spiritual type aura right here that she has in her hand. It's like I said, I just wish the paint around the eyes may have been a little bit better. That's the only misstep I've seen on this statue. Like I said, I don't see there haven't been any paint flaws. Like I think the reason for that is probably because the bone faction, they're a lot easier to paint. Meaning it's easier to maybe do the tones and hues of a skeleton bone than it is, that gray kind of ashen skin of Kair, and just a lot of the details in Gethsemane as well. Just their colors, I think, invite a lot more paint flaws than such as the other than the bone faction. I think the bone faction is just easier to paint without getting numerous paint flaws on them. At least that's my opinion. Especially it's highlighted on these smaller statues as well. You got another look through. Like I said, man, I think this is probably the best one out of the statuettes. Like I'm a big fan of Xiall and Kair. Gethsemane, I like it, and I like the look of her statue, but I'm not a bigger fan of hers. I'm more of a fan of the bone faction just because of the unique look that they usually get over every other character with the exception of Melavestros, my number one. I think they're able to just do a little bit more detail and a lot of different things on the paint. But yeah, I'm loving that cat, man. That cat just sitting there crouching around, looking as creepy as regular cats do. But yeah, so I mean, this is really all I can talk about. I mean, it's not a lot because these are such smaller statues, because I don't want to overextend the review for just no reason at all. But man, like I said, I'm hoping that if you have $100 and you're a big Court of the Dead fan, I don't understand why you haven't bought these already. I think they're good desk warmers or whatever you want to call that. Just sitting them up on your desk, man, at work, just because it's something to show off. And like I said, especially at work, man, you can get a lot of people talking about these things and may actually end up getting someone else interested in the Court of the Dead, which is always a plus in my opinion. All right, everybody, so that's the end of this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell notification to get notified of our future videos. But I'm Carolina Hitman. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining Kraken Hunters. Peace.